Thanks to its position in the plug-in marketplace, its larger-than-life CEO, its record-breaking electric cars, and its goal to revolutionise the auto industry, Tesla is never far from the spotlight. In fact, I think it's fair to say that Tesla attracts more attention than any other automaker out there today, with everyone from mainstream media companies to niche YouTube channels like this one providing a pretty comprehensive commentary on the life and times of Tesla as it races to bring its latest and greatest products to market. So when Reuters ran a story on Friday morning detailing that Tesla had reduced the quantity of a December transmissions parts order by 40%, Tesla's shares took a dive. And if you add this news to the already disappointing number of Tesla Model 3 cars produced and delivered by Tesla during the third quarter of this year, far less than Tesla had originally predicted, it's easy to see why that happened. When it comes to reporting on a Tesla story, though, it's easy to get caught up on the hyperbole, both positive and negative, around the company. So today I figured it would make sense to explain what we currently know about Tesla's manufacturing process, the reported bottlenecks that appear to have slowed down Model 3 production, and what that means for the company moving forwards. Let's look at the facts of the story first. The Reuters article detailing the order cut was published early on Friday morning and referenced a Taiwanese business news outlet called the Economic Daily News. This publication broke the story in Taiwan and references a statement made by the chairman of transmission parts specialist HOTA. The chairman, Shen Quzheng, said that Tesla had decided to modify its Model 3 transmissions parts sets order from 5,000 to 3,000 units, blaming production bottlenecks for the reduced order. I should note, however, that in this case, while Reuters did reach out to Tesla and HOTA for comment and clarification on the original article it referenced, neither company had responded at the time of the publication and do not appear to have responded since. Of course, this doesn't mean that the original story is inaccurate or untrue. Silence is often the preferred way of dealing with bad news in the corporate world, but it would have been nice to have had some clarification. And while I can't prove or disprove the original reporting, it seems, based on what we know of Tesla's slower-than-expected ramp-up of Model 3 production, that the story is most likely accurate. That said, since Tesla's Q3 earnings call is taking place in a few days on November 1st, I'm also not surprised that Tesla has chosen to remain quiet on this one, even though its shares are continuing on the same downward trend we've been seeing for the past 2 weeks or more. With the facts out of the way, and assuming that the reporting is accurate, let's examine what this means for Tesla. First up, assuming that Tesla isn't making the parts elsewhere, I'll come to that in a second, a 40% reduction in parts order does indeed tell us that Tesla is dropping its expectations for Model 3 production, presumably because it's taking longer than Tesla had originally hoped to bring its Model 3 production line up to speed. Given the number of reports I've heard of Tesla bottlenecks, from everyone from Elon Musk's own Twitter account, he was recently talking about sleeping on the roof of the Tesla Gigafactory to help cope with the 8th level of production hell, to Tesla insiders, this does seem to be the case and isn't really a surprise since Tesla struggled to meet its own production goals in the early days of both the Model S and the Model X. Tie that in with the recent expansion of Tesla's credit line by additional $500 million, although I should note that Tesla said the money was destined to help provide additional financing for its in-house lease program. This all shows that Tesla is expecting to take a little longer than originally anticipated to reap the rewards of Model 3. And that in turn tells us that those waiting for a Model 3 are likely to have to wait a little longer for their car than they'd originally hoped. While this all looks bad for Tesla, however, I should at least acknowledge here that the Tesla endgame, when it comes to parts and manufacturing, is to be as vertical as possible, manufacturing as many of its vehicle parts as it can in-house. One of the reasons for this is that it can help Tesla cut overall build costs for all its vehicles, as well as respond more rapidly to changes in vehicle parts design or quantity, which is the primary reason Tesla acquired a company earlier this year that specializes in making machines that make parts. So while it's likely, for now at least, that Tesla is indeed only getting its Model 3 parts from outside suppliers, a continued lower parts order doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make less cars. It could just represent a move to in-house manufacturing, as it did for Model 3 seats, after suffering endless problems getting Model X seats made to a specification by an outside company. Right now, however, Tesla has bigger problems, namely getting Model 3s made in large enough numbers to satisfy demand. And right now, with Model 3 production nowhere near the figures Tesla had hoped, Tesla is not only hemorrhaging cash at a higher rate than it would like to, for every day in ramp-up it suffers, it risks losing reservation holders who had grown impatient for waiting for a Model 3. And that's potentially the most dangerous problem facing Tesla right now. That's it. Thanks for joining me, and see you next time.